Hi everyone! So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to make a cheerful holiday card using Clearly Besotted's Festive Feast stamp set. And in this card, we are going to make a fun Thanksgiving or Christmas dining room scene. So we're going to have all of our little critters lined up around a table carrying their little plates of treats. It looks like this was a potluck Thanksgiving and everyone contributed a little something to the event. And to get started, I am just going to ink up our background. So I want my ink to kind of fade out into nothingness towards the top. And the bottom 1 inch of the card is going to have some wood grain cardstock over that, so we don't need to worry so much about that. And I'm using Tattered Rose Distress Oxide ink for my ink. My card base is an unusual size, so I cut out my card base it's 4 inches high by 8.5 inches long. So I just took an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper and just cut it down and then folded it in half. And now I'm just adding that wood grain floor that I was telling you about. And this is some wood grain cardstock by Lawn Fawn. And then we're going to add the molding right on top of our floor. That's going to separate our dining room from our little walls of our dining room. And I thought the tattered rose was just perfect. It just reminds me of like my grandma's dining room. That kind of peachy pink color. And then this is the stamp set by Clearly Besotted, the Festive Feast stamp set. And just look at how adorable all those little critters are. And look at those adorable little plates of food that they're all carrying. So I am just going to place them all on my cardstock in my Misty. And then we're going to ink it up with some Memento black ink. This is Express It blending card, which is my favorite cardstock for Copic coloring. I find I get a really, really nice blend using this paper. I also like that it is a super bright white cardstock. It's brighter than Nina Solar White cardstock or any other cardstock that I can think of offhand. So now I've arranged all my little images just how I like them. So they all fit on this little A2 size piece of paper. And then I'm going to take my Memento black ink and stamp them, and then we'll start the coloring. So while the coloring is starting, I just want to make sure that you're all aware that I am going to be having a live card making tutorial and giveaway event on Saturday, November 2nd at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And the giveaway is going to last about 40 minutes. So you want to try to tune in right at 8:30 Eastern Time on Saturday, November 2nd, so that you don't miss the instructions on how to enter. The giveaway winners, the contest will take place during the video, which is about 40 minutes long, and the winners will be announced in that same 40-minute video. So you want to make sure that you get there on time. So the video is already posted on my channel, or a link to it is. And all you need to do is just click on the set reminder button that appears under the video. And then you'll get a reminder so that on Saturday, when the video starts to play, you will be able to join. Now, in order to make the most of the video, you should have a YouTube account, because in order to access the Premiere live chat box, you will need to be signed into a YouTube account. So if you don't already have one and you want to play along in the giveaway, just make sure to have that set up by a Saturday before the show begins. Now, the show is live in the sense that I will be online in the chat. There will be other viewers online in the chat box, and we'll all be watching the show in real time together and able to chat with each other in the chat box. It is a pre-recorded video, and I did that just because I wanted to put as much interesting content as I could in the video, because it's about 40 minutes long, which is about the time that I thought it would take to have a meaningful giveaway contest that starts with the contest and ends with the winners being announced. So the video will start with a card making tutorial. And during the tutorial, I'll give you the instructions for how to enter the live giveaway. And then while the tutorial is playing, you'll just respond in the chat box with your answers for the giveaway. And then once the tutorial portion ends, we're going to look at some other short videos that I have put together. And during the playing of those short videos, that's when I'll be announcing the winners in real time in the chat box. So again, you'll want to make sure that you're able to access the chat box during the premiere. And like I said, the video is going to be about 40 minutes long, starting at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday, November 2nd. And there's going to be a total of 5 winners announced. So there will be 3 winners from last week's polar bear contest, and then we'll have 2 more winners selected during the live premiere on Saturday. And so you're probably wondering, well, what do I win if I win the giveaway? So what I'm going to be giving away are 5 boxes of cards. So I've been making a lot of cards recently. Since August, I maybe have about 50 here, I think. So I thought it would be nice just to send out card boxes to 5 lucky winners that contain anywhere between 5 and 7 cards. They're going to be the cards that you've seen me make right here on this YouTube channel or on Instagram. In a few instances, there are some cards that I never showed anywhere that I just kind of did for my own pleasure, so to speak, and I haven't shared until now, or I won't have shared until the video airs on Saturday. So if you would like a chance to own some of my cards, then definitely play along and check out the giveaway on Saturday night. I'm sure there will be more giveaways in the future. I've had a number of card videos over the past 2 years or so that I've been running this YouTube channel. So if you're not able to make it this time, there will be a next time. So now I guess let's talk a little bit about the coloring. So now I am making the mashed potatoes, and I wanted them to look kind of fluffy and lumpy. So that's why I'm adding those little stray marks with my E44 and E42, I think. And then I colored in the base of the potatoes with some E41. And I think that's so cute. It looks like maybe those are some mashed potatoes that have the skins on them. Those are actually my least favorite. I'm not a fan of mashed potatoes with skins. I like the mashed potatoes that have already been peeled. So I'm not sure what other thoughts are, but for me, that's how I like my mashed potatoes. Now, I guess we're working on the little bread tray for that little raccoon in the upper left-hand corner. So there's some dark bread or some brown bread, maybe it's pumpernickel, and then some little sourdough rolls as well. Our little gravy bowl is going to be colored in with metal tones, and I'm using my toner grays for all the metal. So our little gravy bowl is going to be T2, T4, and T6, as are the little fork and knife that our little critter on the bottom is holding, and then the base of the candle as well. And now, of course, we need a little greenery or some green food for our Thanksgiving table just to make everything pretty. So we have a little bowl of spinach in the upper right-hand corner, or maybe they're Brussels sprouts. I guess they could be whatever your green vegetable of choice is. And then we have some desserts as well. So we have the little figgy pudding in the lower left-hand corner. We have a pie it looks like a pig with a furry tail. I'm not sure what kind of animal that is, but in our card, he's going to be a little pig, and I'm going to end up cutting off the tail. We also have 2 main courses for this Thanksgiving feast. So we have a turkey and then also a ham. And I guess either of those dishes would be good for Christmas as well. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What is your family's tradition for your Christmas entree? I know growing up, we're an Italian family, so we would always have a lasagna and then some meat. So we'd either have lasagna and maybe turkey, or we'd have lasagna and a ham, or a lasagna and sometimes a standing rib roast. Probably my favorite thing personally to cook for Christmas. I love to make the standing rib roast. I think it's just so, so special and looks so pretty and festive on the table. And it's also delicious. So that's, I've done that for a few years, and I'm not sure what I'll be making this Christmas. I have to think about that. But for Thanksgiving this year, I will definitely be making turkey. I will be making some stuffing, and the stuffing that I make, I like to add apples and sausage in my stuffing. I also like to add some apple cider. What is it? It's like I think it's like an apple cider beer as well. It gives it like a really, really nice taste. And then I will make sweet potatoes. And I love to make sweet potatoes with some brown sugar or some like real maple syrup from Vermont. And I will add a bunch of butter. Like everything that I cook on Thanksgiving or Christmas the secret ingredient is gonna be butter. And so for the sweet potatoes, it'll be brown sugar and maple syrup and some butter. Once in a while, I'll add some cream to the sweet potatoes, and then I will put them all in a baking dish and then add some little mini marshmallows on top just so that it looks like a traditional American Thanksgiving side dish. And then I will bake that in the oven until the marshmallows get a little bit brown on top. And then that's how I make my sweet potatoes. For my mashed potatoes, my favorite thing to do is to add butter and heavy cream to the mashed potatoes. The heavy cream, I would say, is my secret ingredient there. And then I'll add some salt as well. And what else do I make on Thanksgiving? And then for the pies, one of my favorite pies to make, I love to make a pecan pie. And I took a cooking class maybe about 10 years ago at this point when I still lived in New York City with my cousin Tammy. And she was only in high school at that point. I think she was like 17 or 18 years old. And she would come to visit me in New York City on the weekends. And we would go to these different cooking classes around the city. And the first class that we ever went to was a pie making class. And we made maybe like 10 amazing different kinds of pies. And we ended up making the blueberry pie. The teacher saw that we had no cooking experience whatsoever at that point. And so he gave us the real easy job of just picking through the blueberries and making sure that none of the bad ones got in or that there were no stones with the blueberries. So we made the blueberry pie. We added, I remember, some lemon zest to it, and it made it just delicious. We also learned how to make this bourbon pecan pie at the class. And for the secret for that recipe is to take your pecans about an hour before you cook the pie, and you marinate them in 1 ounce of vanilla or 2 ounces of vanilla. So it's a lot of vanilla, more than you would think would make sense, but it just works magic. So you just kind of sit your 1 or 2 cups of pecans aside, put 1 or 2 ounces of vanilla extract over them, cover them with a plate, and then stir them a few times. And then within an hour or two, you get these just amazing flavored pecans. And then you add them to your pie, and the pie will have like a whole bunch of dark corn syrup. And then when it comes out, I promise you, it'll be the most amazing pie that you've ever tasted. So definitely, if you're going to make pecan pie, try that trick of adding the vanilla extract to the pecans, like marinating them ahead of time. I also love to make pumpkin pie. Probably the only time of the year I eat pumpkin pie is at Thanksgiving. And for that, I follow like the real traditional method of just getting the canned pumpkin pie mix that already has all the spices in it, and then adding evaporated milk or whatever that is you add with it, and then cooking that up. One year I tried to make, when I was taking all these cooking classes in New York City, I tried to make pumpkin pie from scratch with some sugar pumpkins. And what happened to me there was I like missed the part in the recipe where it said you had to cook the pumpkin first before you added it to the pie. So I like chopped up this pumpkin and then just added it to the pie and then cooked the pie without, and the pumpkin was raw, and it tasted like like soap or something. It was not good, and it took me a little bit to realize what I had done wrong. But after that, I was like, you know what? Canned pumpkin is so easy, and it tastes like I don't know, it just tastes like all the pumpkin pies I've had in my childhood. I was like, that's how I'm going to make my pumpkin pies. So it looks like we are about done with the coloring here. I hope I didn't make anyone too hungry with talking about all those Thanksgiving foods, but I am excited to start planning my Thanksgiving menu and then all the cookies that I'm going to bake for the Christmas holiday. Now let's get back to talking about the card. So we're going to decorate our little Thanksgiving table with some Christmas bows and a little garland because Thanksgiving's coming really, really late this year. So we're all going to have Christmas on our mind by the time Thanksgiving is here. So I thought it was appropriate to add this cute little Christmas garland. We're going to put our turkey right in the center. And I'm just gluing that down with some multi-medium matte adhesive. And my glue is kind of thick, so that's why I had to use both hands there to squeeze out the glue. And then we're going to add our little gravy bowl and our spinach or our Brussels sprouts. And then we're going to have a little glass of milk next to the turkey, and you'll see why in a second. And then we're going to put a little candle on the left of the table. And all these little images, I fussy cut them. I wasn't sure if I was going to make a card. I just loved all the images, so I colored them, and I'm like, that would make a really, really cute card. So I put them on this card. I think another fun way to do this card would be to just mask all the images. It would probably take a lot of time, but I think that would be a nice single layer look. And now we're just going to arrange all our little critters, and I've popped them up on a layer of foam tape as I have the table. And we're just going to arrange them as if they're all walking to the table, their little potluck Thanksgiving, carrying all their little items that they've brought. So we have one little guy who's bringing some sweet potatoes and regular potatoes. Another little guy has some ham. We have a raccoon with a plate of potatoes. A little piggy has the pie there. I think that's an apple pie. And then here is our big dessert, our figgy pudding. And we have some mashed potatoes and a ham. And I just love how all these images fit together just perfectly. So you can make this little holiday dining room scene. And now that looks good to me. I just did a little rearranging there. And now I'm going to add some black glaze pen to their eyes. But first we're going to stamp the sentiment. It says, "Let's eat, drink, and be merry." And I use some black VersaFine ink there. Just going to dot the eyes with some black glaze pen. And then we're going to add some eyelashes to some of the little critters in a second with a 0.1 Copic multi-liner. And I'm just going to add some to that little rabbit there with the mashed potatoes and to the little piggy who's holding the apple pie. And then also our little, I guess that's a cat, maybe. No, it's a fox. I'm not sure actually what that is holding the figgy pudding. And now I'm just going to put some sparkle pen over some of the items. I was thinking of using some glossy accents here, but then I decided against it because the card was already like kind of busy and there's a lot going on. And I thought that maybe just a little sparkle would do here. And there's our card, everyone. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you give this card a try. It's a lot of fun and it will definitely make you hungry while you're making it. And I hope to see everyone Saturday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the live premiere of my card making tutorial. It's a Christmas card tutorial and the live giveaway. Good luck, everyone, and I will see you again soon.